And then in her professional career, she exploited the Black community working for the mayor of Chicago. She made 20,000 Black residents homeless when she knocked down the projects as assistant planning commissioner. And then when she worked for the University of Chicago Medical Center, her job was to deny access to health care to Southside Black residents. When they showed up at the emergency room, Michelle would put them in a van and ship them back to the South Side.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. So today I have a question. Do you think that the Democrat Party is going to pull some wool over our eyes? Do you think the Democrat Party is going to make Joe Biden bow out and pull in another person for president to represent the Democratic Party? Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Don't forget, I am on my way to 30,000 subscribers by the end of this month, May. I need you guys to help me out. I'm also on Rumble, Chat with me, Linda B. Type it in as one word, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Patreon as Chat with me, Linda B. Now, let's pause for a word from our sponsor, Child Light Candles. Childlight Candles is a 100% Christian American owned company. They make the best candles made out of soy instead of paraffin. 25% of your purchase goes to help a homeless veteran and their families, as well as children. Look in the link, look in the description box for the link, childlightcandles.com, and put in the discount code Linda B for your discount. Now, without further ado, let's get into it.
Michelle Obama for president in 2024? Sound far-fetched? Our next guest believes the former First Lady is already taking steps to become the Democrats' presidential nominee. Joel Gilbert is author of the book Michelle Obama 2024, Her Real-Life Story and Plan for Power. He's also director of the movie Michelle Obama 2024. Okay, Joel, so why would Michelle Obama want to leave a quiet life of luxury, a home in Hawaii, Martha's Vineyard, and D.C., just to return to politics and life in the White House?
Well, they pretty much, the Obamas have been in politics for years. They've never really left it. They never left Washington, D.C. I make the case in my book and film, Michelle Obama 2024, that Michelle has actually been following the exact same formula that Barack did to become president. Barack was the keynote speaker for John Kerry in 2004 at the Democrat convention. Sure enough, Michelle introduced Joe Biden at the 2020 convention rather. Barack wrote 2 autobiographies before running for president. Michelle just came out with her second autobiography, her best-selling Becoming and The Light We Carry. They're also both on Netflix. And Barack had a voter registration organization called Project Vote. Michelle's been running around the country funded by the Soros Group for $26 million with her group called When We All Vote. So I think she's been running for president, under the radar. And I think the Democrat Party set it up for her. They moved the first primary out of Iowa, where she would have had to campaign in 100 counties, to South Carolina, where half the electorate of the Democrat primary voters are African American. And they moved the DNC, Democrat Convention, to Chicago, Michelle's hometown of all places. So we have a December 23rd deadline to get on all the primary ballots. So I'm predicting that Michelle will enter the race in November, about 4 or 5 weeks from now. And that's when she'll make her move.
And your book tells Michelle Obama's real life story. So what are some highlights of her real life story, and just how qualified is she to be president?
I just want to say that, of course, no one in their right mind wants, another Obama in the White House. We do not want that. But all the things that were just shown right now, the fact that she spoke at the Democratic convention introducing Joe Biden and wrote 2 books, and everything mirrors what her husband did. Is that a coincidence? Now, this particular interview is some months old, back in maybe November of last year, based on what he just said. But I thought it would be good to share it with you all, because are we going to see Joe Biden bow out? Because he doesn't look like he needs to be president. I'm not trying to be mean. He is simply not able to do it, and he's doing a horrible job. And I feel the Democrats know they cannot fairly beat Trump. They cannot fairly beat him. So they have to get someone else. And I've said this in other videos that are a few months old about Michelle Obama. Is she the one-trick pony? Is she the Trojan horse? Now, looking at what I'm looking at, I do believe that an announcement will be made. I do believe that Joe Biden is going to bow out. I do believe that. So we have to pray really, really hard, because as much as I want Donald Trump to win, I really want him to win, he is going to have, I just believe he's going to have a harder time beating Michelle Obama. She's simply very powerful. You have a lot of Obama lovers out there, and to see someone who checks off certain identity politic boxes, she checks off certain boxes. Let's just be honest, the Black female thing, and her last name is Obama. A lot of people on the left want this, but the left doesn't even realize what they're voting for. You're voting for communism, debauchery. You're voting for hatred towards Christianity. That is what I think. That is just my opinion. You don't have to listen to little me. You do not. But you give me your comments. Do you feel like Michelle Obama is going to be the one that the Democrats use to run up against Trump?
Well, the most striking thing I learned is about Michelle's terrible relationship with the Black community in Chicago. I detail how in her childhood, she ran away from the Black community. She refused to study with other Black kids, even though there was a high school, for example, 1 block from her house, a beautiful high school. The problem was it was all Black. So she went an hour and a half away to a magnet school. Her brother went to an expensive Catholic school, all white, to avoid going to Black schools, even though they weren't even Catholic. So Michelle never had any Black friends. The kids would beat her up and call her an Oreo, meaning you're Black on the outside, but you're really a white girl on the inside. She had no Black friends. And then in her professional career, she exploited the Black community, working for the mayor of Chicago. She made 20,000 Black residents homeless when she knocked down the projects as assistant planning commissioner. And then when she worked for the University of Chicago Medical Center, her job was to deny access to health care to Southside Black residents. When they showed up at the emergency room, Michelle would put them in a van and ship them back to the South Side.
This right here, her history, we need to make sure that everybody knows how she's treated her fellow Americans by denying them health care and all these things that she says that she's for. So the Obamas are about tearing down America and making us into something else. Get the word out, get the word out, get the word out. Look at this. I believe what he's saying based on, you see my other video, you can go on Rumble to see it, asking the question, is Obama the one? Go to Rumble and check out that video. And when you go to Rumble, type in ChatWithMeLindaB, but type it in as one word. And you will come to my channel, find that video. I need you guys to share my videos, like, comment, everything.
And she was friends with a known terrorist, right?
Well, that's another big thing I discovered. People have heard about the theory that Jack Cashapp, I think, proved that Bill Ayers, one of the heads of the Weather Underground, helped Barack Obama to write his Dreams from My Father autobiography. Well, in fact, Michelle Obama was best friends with his wife, Bernadine Dorn. They worked together at a law firm for a couple of years. And I think Michelle was radicalized by Bernadine Dorn. Barack and Michelle went to their house for dinner in the 90s every week for years. And all that anti-American nonsense that Michelle was spewing in 2008 when she was campaigning for Barack about how we're all afraid of each other, the politics of fear, how we have to change America, that's all directly from the Weather Underground literature. So that was a big revelation about Michelle's political influence by these domestic terrorists.
And Joel, American voters rejected one former first lady when she ran for president, Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden's already running. Polls show if the election were held today, Donald Trump would soundly beat Biden. So how about Michelle Obama? She's the most popular woman in the country. Would Democrats have a better chance of holding the White House with her as their candidate against Trump?
Yeah, look, Michelle's had 15 years of all positive publicity, hundreds of magazine covers, hundreds of interviews. She's got these autobiographies. She has a huge following. She's been developing 100 million followers on social media. And she does have an emotional connection to millions of Americans, and especially the minority and women's groups that she's been working on for years. So she'd be a formidable candidate as opposed to Hillary, where people kind of hated her and were sick of her.
Okay, how do you see this playing out then? It doesn't appear Biden's ready to step aside. So tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are.
Yeah, look, Biden is a very unpopular politician. The Democrats don't want him. Everybody thinks he's too old. The down ballot Democrats are terrified that he'll bring down the ticket. So at this point, I don't even think Biden has to drop out, just like Ted Kennedy ran against Jimmy Carter. Biden, if he wants to be really stubborn, he can stay in the race all he wants. And Michelle will declare, I think, in November. She'll be way ahead in all the polls. And by the time they get to South Carolina for the first primary, she'll trounce Biden if he's still in the race. But don't forget, Biden came in 5th place in Iowa, 5th place in New Hampshire in 2020. It was only South Carolina, where Jim Clyburn helped him get out the African-American vote, that gave him one primary victory, and then everybody dropped out. So you can see kind of the fix was in for Biden for a number of reasons, but that's not going to be the case if Michelle is the nominee.
Okay, Joel Gilbert, author of the Michelle Obama 2024 movie and book. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Prayer warriors pray, because if another Obama gets in the White House, this country is done as we know it. We have to really get out there, get on our knees and pray. Surrender fully so the Lord can really hear our prayers. If you're listening to me, take God seriously, pray diligently. Now, this again was done last year. This is, and today, to this date, we are in May 2024, late May. And I have not heard anything about Michelle Obama making any announcement. If she does, that is going to be tougher for Trump to get into the White House, because Michelle Obama does have universal appeal. I am not a fan of her or her husband. And I just do not want this for this country. We have to pray. We have to have the right person in office. They are for change, radicalization. She is associated with communism and radicals like Bill Ayers and his wife. And if you look at the history of the Obamas before we even heard of who they are, they have connections with that kind of radicalism. They just do. And I don't think a lot of people know that. And I think we have two armies. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We have two armies rising up. We have those for God and those for the enemy, the devil. We do. And the Obamas, the way I look at them, they're of the enemy. They bring in non-biblical lifestyles and principles and shove it down our throats, promote divisive language. And I don't know if you all saw that movie, Leave the World Behind. I was curious, so I watched it. At the very opening, it had upside down crosses and upside down American flags and guns. And also there was a part in the movie where these papers were flying out of the air. And when the father of the movie, I think Ethan Hawke portrayed the father, he opened it up and it was written in Arabic. He said, "What is this?" And the son said, "It means death to America." That is what that meant on that paper. And the Obamas were behind this movie. They produced this movie. And for them to have the background that they have, the agendas that they were pushing, the wokeism, the division, the hate, and mocking Christianity, and combining that all together with this movie and the fact that they ran on hope and change. We all like hope as long as you're hoping for the right thing. But the part that bothered me was where it said change. Look, what kind of change? And they brought in, the marriage equality, with people being able to marry each other of the same gender. We've not ever had that until they got into office. You all tell me what you think. Is Michelle going to make her announcement this summer and Joe Biden is going to bow out? What do you think is going to happen? I would rather not have her run up against Joe. I don't want to hear it from all the lefties talking about Michelle, and I got to hear it in my family. I don't want to hear it. I just want a repeat with Trump and Biden and Trump winning. That's what I want. You all tell me what you want. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, this country. And as I always say, march on, warriors.